Good evening, friends, and welcome to another late night edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys and girls, I'm a retired New York City police detective, and if you like all things true crime related from the police detective's perspective, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you'll get all things DutyRon and Ed Wallace when we go live or upload another video. Hey, tonight I want to come to you and talk about day 18 of the Lori Vallow Daybell. I like to call her Lori Shallow Vallow. It's day 18. I want to just go over some of the coverage because I've been absent the whole week. Monday night was the last time I did a live stream, and then my son's birthday was Tuesday, and then my dog went and had surgery to remove one tooth, which turned into 7 teeth being removed. So we've been nursing our little 15-year-old, 15 years young Oscar, our little dachshund. Our hot dog is doing well, and I want to thank everyone for the well wishes and the great comments and the prayers. And some folks started a prayer group for Oscar, so thank you so much for that. And again, I apologize for my absence during the course of this week, but family comes first. You all know that. You guys are part of my family, but family comes first. I want to say a special thank you to you, the Patreon supporters, the channel members, the folks who watch the replays, who leave comments down below. I have to give thanks and praise to each and every one of you because without your engagement, this is nothing. We have nothing here. So you as a part of the community are such a great part of this. And I can't leave any of you guys out because it's so important to me to have all you guys here. Um, you know, this case with Lori Daybell, Lori Vallow Daybell, I like to, again, refer to her as Shallow Vallow. Um, you know, death and destruction coming from her, Chad Daybell, her brother, who is no longer with us. Anybody that came into contact with these people and disagreed with them or didn't go along with their extreme thoughts and their extreme beliefs and their desire and greed for money were eliminated. And we're seeing a trial here for her, JJ and Tylee, Chad's wife, Tammy, and we're going to see more going forward. When Chad Daybell's trial starts, it's going to be just a whole interesting host of more things coming down the pipeline. But I want to just give a quick shout out to Nate Eaton from East Idaho News because Nate has been covering this thing so well, and kudos to everybody else who's been covering this trial. But listen, we heard a lot from the deputy coroner, the coroner today. Day 18 was really focused on Tammy Daybell and her murder. And we heard 911 calls from the night that she was shot at by what we think and we know probably pretty definitively that Lori's brother attempted to shoot at her, never actually shot at her, but that was an assassination attempt orchestrated, I'm sure, by Lori and Chad. That we heard that 911 call for the first time, and we also heard the 911 call from Chad Daybell the night he murdered his wife. And I can't say it any other way. I can't say the night that Tammy Daybell died. It was the night she was successfully murdered because they are on. She is on trial right now for conspiracy to commit 18. Let me say hello to Scott in the chat with the good old Detective Bureau insignia. Thank you for joining. Hello, Wendy. Allie D, good to see you. Joey Brooklyn is in the house. Wendy Croft, Southwest 4x4. Of course, always present and ready for action. Thank you for joining. Patty, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Dawn Marie, I got to say hello to a couple of folks who are here. Ashley Oakes, thank you for joining. Hi, Vicky. Good to see you, Princess Mitch. Thank you. Thank you, Nevada Pup, for being here. Cat H, a whole bunch of people just piling in. It's great to see everybody, and I thank you for joining. And again, I was only able to sneak in Sherilyn Schaffner. Good to see you. I was only able to sneak this in at 11 o'clock at night. It's 11 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast. So I almost wasn't going to be able to do this, but I wanted to get this in. I wanted to sneak it in. Hey, Tom Cusinelli, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Hi, Shirley. Pleasure to see you. Julie K, always great to see you. So I want to play the 911 calls. If you guys don't mind, bear with me on this. These are 911 calls from court today. They're coming from Nate Eaton, East Idaho News. He just finished up a live with himself, and his wife actually made a guest appearance. So he played the 911 calls. I'm sure that some of us haven't heard the 911 call. Glowbug, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hello from Central New York. Facebook user, you got to authenticate, so we got your name. We don't know who it is from Central New York, but thank you for joining on the Facebook group. So thank you. Northern California Cubs fan, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And again, listen, man, family comes first. So I've been radio silent all week. There's the trial of Trezell and Jacqueline West, which is still ongoing. They were off today. They were off yesterday. But there's a lot to cover with that trial. I got to do a separate live for that. And there's also Gannon Stout going on. Justice got to be served because, Tisha Stout brutally murdered her stepson, and justice has to be served in that case. She has pled guilty by reason of insanity, but that's a whole nother... Listen, there's 3 really high profile trials going on right now. Lori Vallow, Trezell and Jacqueline West, and the Stout trial. So Letitia is one evil son of a gun. So, and I'm being nice here. So let me put Nate Eaton on and let you guys watch this, and we'll listen. This is about 10 or 11 minutes. So as we're in the chat, prayers and hearts and, all of that good stuff for, JJ and Tylee. I'm going to go over day 17, which is brutal. And I'm going to put a disclaimer, day 17 in the Vallow trial is very hard to listen to. They went over graphic detail of the cause of death for JJ, and Tylee's was undetermined, what we refer to as a cuppy. It was something that needs further investigation to figure out exactly how she died. But we heard some really gruesome details from the autopsy on day 17. Really, really difficult to take in. Heidi Cakes, good to see you. Thank you for joining. So welcome in from Australia. Put another prawn on the Barbie. Good day. Good day. Good day. Good day. Yeah, definitely heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. All right, let's listen to these 911 calls. If you do suffer from any type of PTSD or anything like that, the 911 call when Chad Daybell is calling in about his wife unconscious, it's the best acting that I've seen from Chad Daybell thus far. I didn't buy it one bit. And by a show of hands, who watched or listened? You can't watch it, but who listened to this 911 call? If you heard this 911 call from Chad Daybell, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't hear it, put a 2. I'm just curious to see how many people have heard the 911 call, but it was such an acting show. I mean, he really did a good job with his crying and being upset. I didn't buy it. As an investigator, I thought it was shit. Bullshit. I got the bleep wrong on that one. I got it wrong. So here we go. Schmitty, thanks for being here. There's a lot of number 1s and some number 2s. Julie K chiming in with a number 1. Shirley's got a number 2, so she didn't hear it. All right, let's get it. Let's get at this. Let me play this. All right. So let's go. All right, here's Nate, our good friend. And this is about 10 or 12 minutes.
His YouTube channel. Next, we had Fremont County Sheriff Deputy Coulter Cannon. His testimony was relatively short. He was working the night of October 9th. That's the night that Tammy Daybell said that there was someone that pulled up with a gun in the driveway. He was dispatched out to the house. He got there. He did a search of the driveway. He couldn't find any shells. He spoke with Tammy. He spoke with, he didn't speak with Chad, but he spoke with Tammy. He said that Garth was there, their son, and Tammy mentioned to him that she thought it might be one of her sons because the person was the same build of one of her sons. She didn't say which one, but the deputy said that upon looking further, the build may have been the same, but the measurements weren't quite the same as one of her sons. So that didn't quite work out. He couldn't find any shell casings.
Let me know if
I
the
don't know how
volume
long
is
he was
good.
there, but it was relatively short. I think they chalked it up to, a teenager causing trouble, and then he left. That was about his testimony. Next, we had the dispatcher, Helena Kaakamunu. I'm sorry, Helena, if I'm saying your name wrong and you're watching.
What a nice man.
She took the 911 call that night.
He's a nice guy.
There were actually 2 911 calls. Tammy called 911, but before she called 911, Joseph Murray, her son-in-law across the street, was chopping wood. He heard Tammy scream. He called 911, and then after that, Tammy called 911. And here are the calls. The first one is Joseph. The second one is Tammy. Again, this is the night of October 9th. She came home from the grocery store. It was around 9 o'clock at night. It was dark in the fall. So October, in the fall, she gets out of the car, and there's a man standing there with a gun. And these are the 911
Alex
calls.
Cox.
Mother-in-law what I just got home about 10 minutes ago, was unloading her car, and she thinks the man, but she's not 100% sure he see because they were wearing a ski mask, came up to her with a paintball gun, but they sort of screamed at her, wasn't loaded, she came out of it. But she kept asking what he was doing with the car, and then suddenly, after she pulled out her husband's hair, he ran off.
Okay, what's the address? Are you there? Hello? Are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you. What's the address?
It's 199 North, 1900 East, Rexbury, Idaho, 83440. That's my address. She lives in the corner. I don't know what her address is.
Okay, I need her address. What's her location?
I think it's 201, I think is her address.
201 North 1900 East?
North, yep.
Does she know which direction he ended up running?
He headed east, back behind their house.
Okay, and did she give you a description of the clothing?
I didn't get one from her. I just know that.
And what is your name?
My name is Joseph Murray.
Okay, is this a good good phone number for you?
Yep.
Okay, I am sending a deputy out to your mother's home.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So that's the 911 call. Again, that was the day that Tammy Daybell was accosted in her driveway. And the 2 911 calls that we're going to be, well, the second 911 call that we're going to hear is going to be Chad Daybell. Just a week or so later, this is the night Tammy dies. And I like I said earlier, I feel like, this is a trial for her murder. This is the night she was murdered. So let's take a listen to this.
I pulled up into our driveway.
Okay, wait a minute. So this is Tammy Daybell now. This is actually the first time hearing her voice, at least for me. It was the first time hearing Tammy's voice. So after her son calls, she calls 911, and now this is the actual first time that I've ever heard Tammy Daybell's voice. And she's calling 911 again to give her description of what happened. And this is more of a detailed description here.
Hi, I need to report something. Okay, go ahead.
This is Tammy.
What's the address? Okay, at 202 North, 1900 East. The corner with the blinking yellow light on Salem Highway. Is it a suspicious person? Yes. Okay, what was he wearing? He was all dressed in black and he had a ski mask on. And he said the blinking light now is where you saw him? No, he's gone now because I pulled up into our driveway and I was getting stuff out of the backseat of my car and suddenly he was there and he had a paintball gun and he was and like he was going to shoot at me. And I kept asking him what he was doing because I could tell it was a paintball thing. And then he just kept doing it, so I yelled for my husband, and then he took off running around the back of my house. Okay, give me just 1 minute. Stay on the line with me. Okay.
October 9, 2019. 21 hours, 50 minutes, 28 seconds.
That was North 1900 East? Yes.
October 9, 2019. 21 hours, 50 minutes, 43 seconds.
Do you know what direction he was going? He went behind my house and it's so dark out here and I just went in the house and got my husband and son. And then they went out and looked and he was long gone by then. So he was on the north side of my house is where he went to get away. Okay.
Exactly, Barbara.
He didn't say anything, or he just kept like he was holding the gun like he was, had a rifle and just shooting at me. So, but nothing came out of the gun either, so I don't think it was loaded. Okay, and what is your name, ma'am? My name is Tammy Daybell. Okay, I will pass your information on to my deputies. We actually just had a previous call about this individual, so they're out in the area looking now. Okay, yeah, I think it was my son-in-law who lives diagonal from us that called you guys already. Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure it got reported. So, let's see. And what's your son-in-law's name? Joseph Murray. Okay, yep, it was him. Okay. So, all right, I have a deputy that will be out at your home here shortly. Okay, thank you. Yep.
Again, she sounded calm too. Like I don't know about you guys, and I'm not critiquing her, state on that 911 call, but like I picture if this would have happened to like my wife, she'd be like flipped out. She sounded very calm and very cool and collective, and I'm just giving her credit because like that's a stressful thing to happen. So my takeaway from hearing that 911 call was like I was surprised because I would have thought it would be like, hey, you got to get someone over here. There's some crazed guy who pointed a gun at me. Like I'm scared shitless. Get somebody over here. It was just too calm for me. But again, even if somebody was shooting a paintball gun and it wasn't a real gun, but who are we to judge whether it's a real gun or a paintball gun? But anyways, Louise Poppy from New Zealand, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Always a pleasure. Yeah, Patty, she says I'd be freaking out. But listen, again, it's not a critique of Tammy Daybell, God rest her soul. But I just say this is that, like I right away just like shook my head with that. But I'm going to try to fast forward us to the 911 call from Chad. Okay. I think I have it queued up. So let's go straight over to the 911 call from Chad Daybell. I'll remain quiet on this one because this is let me tell you something. This is some acting job by him. And if any of you feel like I'm wrong on this and that you really buy that he is distraught and upset, this is a master plan that he and Lori put together. And I did a video about a year, and then I did one 2 years ago with Barbara Butcher, the New York City Medical Examiner's Office Chief of Staff. We all know and love Barbara. And Barbara talks about the pink, frothy, foamy substance that was noticed by Tammy Daybell's own daughter when she came to the scene on the morning her mom was killed. And as soon as I told Barbara about the pink, frothy, foamy substance, she said that's an indicator of someone being poisoned by narcotic, with some type of narcotics. And the pink, frothy, foamy stuff is from blood in your lungs mixing with the substance. And I have that video. I'm going to link it here in one of these cards or down below in the comment, in the description. I want you guys to go back and watch that video that we created. One was a year ago and the other one was 2 years ago. And Barbara talks about this case and predicts a lot of things that we're hearing in court from the medical examiners that testified today. So there was the deputy coroner, the coroner, and the pathologist, the forensic pathologist. So let's listen to this. This is Chad Daybell, and he gets an award for the best bullshit artist. He gets the award for the best artist. I really suck at the bleeping. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below how badly I suck at the bleeping part. MMM Rhino Girl, good to see you. Thank you for joining from United Emirates. Thank you for joining. All right, here we go.
Anywhere off. This we began the whole series of events as far as Tammy is concerned. Just to give you some context, this is October 19th. Charles
10 days.
Vallow died July 11th. July, August, September. So this is 3 months later. JJ died September 22nd, 23rd. So a month after that. Tylee died September 8th or 9th. So this is, we got the death in August or July, then September. Now we're in October. Fourth death here, Tammy Daybell. This is the 911 call. Her son Garth is on the line, and you will also hear Chad on the line.
911, where's your emergency?
We're at 202 North, 1900 East.
What's going on?
We just found my mom. She's on the ground frozen, or she's dead, and I don't know.
Are you in Madison County or Fremont County?
I'm Chad, the husband. She's clearly dead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, are you in Rexford or, because your address shows Rexford address, but you're in Fremont County?
Mile past.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, she's frozen.
He said she's frozen.
Okay, can I get your name?
Chad Daybell. Oh, man.
Okay, Chad, I'm going to get somebody up to you right now, okay?
Yeah, the corner of the blinking yellow light is the red house.
Yes, sir. Red house on the corner.
Yes.
Blinking yellow light.
Right.
Okay. We'll get somebody up to you, okay? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
If you need anything else, you call me back, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, so that was the call. Let me know.
Pathetic. really horrible acting. And again, like I said, they orchestrated this, and Nate Eaton set that thing up so well. This is the fourth death that he and Lori and her brother Alex have been involved in, right? It's just things that make you go, huh, right? So there's a lot more in this coverage. I'm going to link Nate Eaton's East Idaho News down below in the description. Kudos and heads up to Nate for all his great coverage. If you want to stay up to date on everything that happens in the Lori Daybell Vallow case, Nate Eaton is the guy. So I want to go back because today's testimony, there was 10 people that testified. The list is on Nate's site. There was the deputy coroner, the coroner, Lori Vallow, Tammy Daybell's sister testified today about how devastated she was to find out all of the things that Chad and Lori were doing behind the scenes and so forth. So if you want to see that, again, I'll link the description. You can go and check out Nate's coverage. He is super, super awesome. And I got to be honest with you, because of the week that I had with my dog, having lots of teeth pulled and my son's birthday, it was really a family week where we were, my wife and I were both sharing, sleeping on the couch. So we were next to the dog in case he needed something or if he was in pain, to give him some pain relief. So it was a tough week. So I really didn't listen to a lot of the trials. I did like a quick update, and I watched some of Nate's coverage and so forth, but I wasn't listening as intently as I would normally. So I want to go back to day 17. So this is the part of the live stream that might get a little sensitive for you guys. And if you don't want to hear about this, then I would suggest you tune out, because we're going to talk about some of the injuries that were inflicted, the brutal injuries that were inflicted on JJ and Tylee. And these are kind of really difficult to listen to, because we heard, the FBI and the medical examiners talk about injuries indicative of, dismemberment and so forth. It's really horrifying. And this is what makes, this is what makes Chad and Lori Shallow Vallow really monsters. And I'll say this until the sun goes down. Anybody that's into anything that's extreme and over the top, example, religion, and thank you, Millie, for becoming a channel member. Thank you for signing up, longtime supporter and good friend. But anytime someone's really extreme with not just religion, with just anything, if somebody's, telling you it's this way or no way at all, or, follow me to the promised land, you have to be careful of that. It's dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. So I can't overemphasize it more. People got to really understand that this is serious business. So this is a little clip from News Nation. Elizabeth Vargas, she's got Joseph Scott Morgan on with her, and he is really awesome. But he's going to go over some sensitive stuff. So if you are sensitive to this, please, yeah. Lola, that's it. Extremist. Anybody that's extreme with their beliefs in anything, and if it's over the top, where they're telling you or guiding you to things that seem unreasonable, you got to be very careful of that. And that's what these people did. It wasn't just Chad Daybell getting Lori Vallow under his grasp. He did it to anybody who was reading his books. If you read his books and all of his writings, it was so out there. It was so clear and evident that this guy was just a wackadoo, and the people who followed along with him, again, wackadoos, Anyways, let let's play this before I get ahead of myself, because I got to get to bed in a little bit. But let's play this.
Trial, the cult mother accused of killing her two youngest children. An FBI forensic examiner took the stand today and said 16-year-old Tylee's bones had signs of stabbing and chopping injuries. While he was not able to determine what exact tools were used, the examiner speculated that it was either a machete, a hatchet, or a cleaver. A forensic biologist also testified that she found Tylee's DNA on a shovel and a pickaxe handle found at Chad Daybell's property. Chad is Lori's fifth husband. His wife was murdered just weeks after the kids were killed. Authorities found the two children buried on his property. Joining us now is forensic analyst Joseph Scott Morgan and criminal defense attorney and News Nation legal analyst Sarah Azari. Doctor, I'd like to start with you first. The forensic scientist on the stand today testified that she found two latent prints on a plastic bag that JJ was in, and that those prints belonged to Alex, Lori's brother.
Yeah, you're right. And Elizabeth, this is probably to say that this is a plethora of information. This is the most data that we received or have been exposed to at this point in this trial. We were just awash with it. And that is significant because for a long time, many of us had suspected that Alex did in fact have something to do at least with the hiding of these bodies. Now, whether or not he was actually the perpetrator, no one will ever know because he is now deceased. However, the fact that there was a latent print left behind by him puts him in contact with this bag, with the tape, all these other items that are out there.
And what about this testimony about the condition of Tylee's bones, that they showed injuries that were of a chopping type injury? What does that tell you?
Yeah, it's absolutely ghastly. These are going to be postmortem injuries or after death injuries. It almost seems, Elizabeth, and I'm kind of going out on a limb here, as if her remains in total had been burned, and then they went back, perhaps because these are very rudimentary. It's not very well ordered. It's almost like they tried to dismember her body after it had been on fire. They went to the center of the body. These injuries were impacted around the pelvic area and the tailbone. So it's like they're trying to break the body up after the body has been set on fire. Absolutely ghastly stuff.
Oh, Sarah, this is the second day of this horrific testimony. Yesterday was all about the 7-year-old boy, her brother, JJ. How is the defense trying to rebut this when they get their chance to cross-examine these witnesses?
Yeah, Elizabeth, good to be with you. You know, the defense is doing exactly what defense attorneys do when they cross-examine the prosecution's experts. They are trying to discredit everything from their background, experience, expertise, to specifically the investigation they did in this case. They're using like purposeful phrases like somebody screwed up or had you done this.
I want to just say this. I really, these two guests, I really enjoyed their commentary. But I have to say that in listening to the little bits from the cross-examination of attorney John Thomas, he's the defense attorney, and he cross-examined Dr. Warner. I think it's, Warner. And he asked Dr. Warner, who's a forensic pathologist, some idiotic questions. Did anybody catch that? He asked him about the bag, the asphyxiation of JJ, and he said to him, "Did you swab the inside of the decedent's nose?" He didn't even mention JJ by name. He just said, "Did you swab the inside of the nose?" And the doctor, the forensic pathologist, was like, "No. Why would I swab the inside of someone's nose that died of asphyxiation?" He had a bag over his head, duct taped, and duct tape over his mouth. And the defense attorney said that he watched this in a movie. And the medical examiner, the pathologist, was like, "That's disturbing." And he goes, "Disturbing? Why?" He said, "Because you're asking me questions of something that you watched in a movie? Give me a break. Yeah, Debbie, it was repulsive. I think that they, in this piece, they don't go into it, but I'm going to play the piece where they go into it right after this. Just insanity, total insanity. But that's the defense attorney. The guy's a moron.
You would have known this, but you didn't do it.
But is it working?
And at times it might. Well, here's the thing. It might seem futile at times, but we have to remember that when the defense puts on its case, they're going to put up their own experts to challenge and offer a different account to this jury. And so ultimately, it's going to be up to the jury to decide which set of experts are more reliable, which set of science is more reliable that they can adopt in their, deliberations. But I have to tell you, Elizabeth, that the investigation and the analysis, the forensics here is extraordinary. It's not like LAPD in my cases or SLED and Murdoch. They have DNA, fingerprint, tools, pathology, anthropology, GPS, all of it. And so the question really becomes is, I think the defense is going to, well, but we still don't know who in terms of who is the doer. We don't know if it's a male or female that stabbed or chopped Tylee. And, the problem is that doesn't really even matter at the end when she has a conspiracy charge.
Right.
And there's all these ties between Alex and Chad and her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with a conspiracy charge, you don't have to prove that she did the actual killing. As long as she was in on the plan, which we all know she was in on the plan. Everybody that came in contact with Lori and Chad and got in the way of their lust for money, sex, and I forgot exactly how they put it, but anybody that got in the way of their plan, including her own brother and her own, flesh and blood, they would take them out and not even think twice about it. Let me get myself back on so I could set up. Let's listen to this idiotic lawyer, the defense attorney, talk on a cross. It was really ridiculous. It was beyond ridiculous. So let me see if I can cue this up. I think I have it here. Unfortunately, it's Banfield. It's on Banfield, so I'm going to skip the parts of her talking because I got a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about with Banfield. Did anybody see Banfield say 2 or 3 nights ago that she has a burner phone so she can call Brian Kohlberger in jail? Did it? Was that like a nightmare that I saw? Was I dreaming that? Or did Banfield actually say to her the reporter that was on with her, the field reporter, that drug dealers and all bad people have burner phones, but she also has a burner phone so she can call Brian Kohlberger in jail and hopefully she can get an interview from him? What moron would think that Brian Kohlberger would want to talk to them and give an interview when he's facing 4 felony murder charges and the firing squad if he's convicted? You think he wants to talk to any news reporter, Banfield included? Oh, don't get me going on this. Don't get me going. I want to go to sleep in peace tonight. All right, here it is. Let's take a listen.
Inside the sinuses. Did you collect any evidence inside the sinuses? Did you swab the sinuses and pull out any evidence?
No.
So how is it that you're coming to the conclusion that this person was smothered with a plastic bag?
Right. So going back, so JJ was found with a plastic bag over his head. That was duct taped tightly. He was bound. There was evidence of a struggle, and there's no other explanation of why he was dead. You find zero reason for them to be dead, then it's reasonable to conclude that that was the cause of death.
Okay, but let's back up a little bit. When I talked about swabbing the sinuses or swabbing the nasal cavity, you didn't do that?
I've never heard anybody doing that in this type of situation.
Okay, what type of situation are you talking about?
Bag over the head.
Okay, so when someone has a bag over their head and and I'm just going off of things I've seen in movies and whatnot.
Oh my God.
It seems
That's
like
scary.
That's scary to you?
Yeah, but you're going off movies.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Well, that's distressing.
Conclude that that was the explanation. Classic. So
let's listen
Pull
to
out
that
any
again.
evidence.
Funny or suggest that this is something out of the movies. Let me play the soundbite real quick. Here it is. Take a look.
Did you collect any evidence inside the sinuses? Did you swab the sinuses and pull out any evidence?
no.
So how is it that you're coming to the conclusion that this person was smothered with a plastic bag?
Right. So going back, so JJ was found with a plastic bag over his head. That was duct taped tightly. He was bound. There was evidence of a struggle, and there's no other explanation of why he was dead. You find zero reason for them to be dead, then it's reasonable to conclude that that was the cause of death.
Okay, but let's back up a little bit. When I talked about swabbing the sinuses or swabbing the nasal cavity, you didn't do that?
I've never heard anybody doing that in this type of situation.
Okay, what type of situation are you talking about?
Bag over the head.
Okay, so when someone has a bag over their head and and I'm just going off of things I've seen in movies and whatnot, it seems
That's
like
scary.
That's scary to you?
Yeah, but you're going off movies.
Okay.
What a freaking imbecile. I mean, this defense attorney actually sounds like he's on drugs. Like he sounded like he was not even like all there. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. This line of questioning was embarrassing, to say the least. It was cringe. It was all of the above. Amber, good to see you. Thank you for joining. I'm telling you, if I had an attorney that was representing me and he asked those questions, I would fire him. But it is what it is. This guy is a complete moron. So, we heard the testimony, and I'm not going to play the testimony because it was the day before. The FBI and coroner also spoke about the injuries to Tylee Ryan, and the DNA was found on the shovel and the pickaxe. Her DNA was found on the pickaxe, which was probably used to try to break up her body, break her bones up. And Joseph Scott Morgan speculated that it was perhaps an act that was committed by either whoever, Alex, Chad, Lori. We don't know if they were all doing it together or if it was Alex doing it solo, but we know that his phone pinged on the Chad Daybell's property. His was the only phone that pinged there. They did a geofence warrant. There was no other phones pinging in that area. And it was exclusively his, but that still doesn't mean that someone could have took his phone and put it there. He's not here to stand for any charges, but it was said that Tylee's DNA was on the shovel and the pickaxe recovered on Chad Daybell's property in a shed. Those were probably the items that were used to do the burial and to try to dismember her body to make it easier to dispose of. These are the kinds of people, again, that you're talking. I mean, Lori's brother was a killing machine. I mean, we know he killed for sure Charles Vallow, right? In Arizona. He shot him with a .45 multiple times and sat on the curb and said, he hit me in the back of the head with a baseball bat and I shot him in self-defense. We know that Tylee and JJ were last seen in the national park with Alex as well. This whole case, again, is based on extreme beliefs, mental illness, extreme beliefs, mental illness, and greed. Greed for money. The people who were getting killed, including Chad's wife of 29 years, his high school sweetheart, is getting killed because of what? The life insurance? And she was in the way of him and Lori doing their thing. So, yeah, let's look at the chat. It's just a lot of craziness. And this thing is just unbelievable. Okay. So I want to leave you with this bizarre 2-minute video, right? Money, sex, and power. Thank you, Lori. And thank you to all the new subscribers. We've had a great push of new subscribers come along. So thank you to everyone who's subscribing. And if you guys could, while you're here, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Leave me a comment down below. Share. Let me know what your thoughts are. Share this video with your friends. Leave me a comment in the comment section. I love to look at the comments and respond to them. But this is a little bit off the topic that we're talking about now, right? Debbie, thanks. Better late than never, Debbie. She says, hi, Ron. I'm a little late, but better late than never. So thank you. Thank you for joining. Teresa B., thank you. Yeah, welcome to all the newbies. Welcome to everyone who's coming, returning and coming back time and time again. We love you guys. And I want to tell you something. I turned down a lot of brand deals from companies because they want me to make 30-second commercials and play them during the course of my videos. I turned them down on a regular basis, at least a couple of times a month, because I don't want to get commercialized. I don't want to make this like it's a business. I love doing this and I love talking with you guys. I love covering the cases. And I love the education that we are able to give, like me and Ed Wallace and some of the experts that we have on. So it's really important. But I want to talk to you guys about Banfield, and she's off the rails in this thing. She basically talks, her video is titled, well, it was, now they've changed it. But she had in the video title, they're talking about Lori Vallow Daybell. Earlier in the week, there was testimony that from the investigators from the police department locally and the FBI that she and Chad and others, her brother, had burner phones, I think the number was 8 burner phones, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Hey, Debbie, I saw your comment before about, you like to talk about your religion. There's nothing wrong. My aunt is a Catholic nun, and there's nothing wrong about talking about your religion and feeling firmly about, God's word or whatever your religion is. But I'm talking about these people were over the top and extremism, to the point of where if you didn't agree with them, they kill you, or if you are talking about turning them in or swaying over to the other side, all of a sudden they deem that you're a demon and that you're possessed, that your body is taken over by somebody else. That's a completely different story. I mean, my aunt, I said, is a Catholic nun, and she loves to talk about God. She loves to pray. There's nothing wrong with that. Praying is fine. It's when you take it to that next level and you start killing people. Free will forever. Exactly. So Banfield is talking about Lori Vallow and her burner phones, and she can't help herself. She goes right to Brian Kohlberger, and she goes, criminals and bad people and people who are trying to evade the police have burner phones. And we all know that a lot of people who can't afford or don't have good credit or don't want to sign up for a contract, they go to Walmart and go to all these places and you get a phone. They call them burner phones, but it's a phone that you could just pay monthly or day to day or whatever. You put minutes on it, you get rid of it. Or if you lose it, you don't have to worry about it. You have you have a son or a daughter who's prone to losing phones. You get them one of these pay per minute phone. They call them burner phones. So lots of good people get these phones. But yes, a lot of drug dealers, a lot of bad people, a lot of criminals, a lot of people who are trying to evade detection or evade the police or evade whoever. They do these things and they get them. But she's talking about this. Just take a listen to this. She's off the rails. I mean, the little bit of respect that I had for her, this video killed it for me. This was the nail in the coffin, so to speak. Just listen to this and bear with me.
Can you tell me something real quickly, Alex? I just mentioned to the, our viewers who are watching right now that Lori had 18 different phone accounts, but I didn't even mention the burner phones. What's the story on the burner phone? Who has burner phones except for like drug dealers and criminals and me? I have one, but like, what was the burner phone story?
Well, that's what the prosecution will tell you, right? The only people that have burner phones are criminals that are trying to hide their misdeeds or people that are trying to cover up and not let other people that they're associated with know about the things that they're doing. And so it was revealed today that multiple phone accounts existed for Chad, for Lori, for Alex Cox. Now,
let me just point out that this is a video about Lori Vallow, Lori and Chad, right? But she got so embarrassed by this. Look what she did. She changed it to Ashley Banfield. I've been calling Brian Kohlberger on a burner phone. But this is not what the video was about. It was about Lori and Chad having multiple phones. So I'll let the rest of this play. It's just a minute more.
There were three in particular for Alex Cox. Now, there were three in particular for each that really were doing the brunt of the misgivings and the misdeeds, I would say. But ultimately, what the defense is trying to point out is that just because someone has multiple phones doesn't make them a criminal. Now, of course, as you mentioned, those who have burner phones usually are up to no good. But really, there was a lot of talk today about the phones, about the communications, the side chats. Also, Lori was saving some of these burner phones that were associated to Chad with different names, like she would put him as a bishop in her phone, or Alex Cox had different pseudonyms and aliases on all these different burner phones as well. So a lot of conversation about tracking phones today and about the phone activity that were happening.
Well, I just want to be really clear. I'm not a drug dealer or a criminal, but I have a burner phone because I've actually been calling Brian Kohlberger in jail, trying to get him to, consider returning a call. And he hasn't so far. But Alex, you'll be the first to know if Brian Kohlberger calls me back. You and Brian Enton. You can just keep trying. It's what we do. Alex, also, yep. I have a burner phone because I've actually been calling Brian Kohlberger. Phone because I've actually been calling Brian Kohlberger. Been calling Brian Kohlberger.
She's obsessed. It's freaking crazy, man. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Unbelievable. I'm speechless. Anyways, let me know what you think about that in Banfield down below. A burner phone to call Brian Kohlberger. You had to make a mention on that when you're talking about clearly Lori and Chad had multiple phones. I don't know. I don't understand it. It's just, I want to say this.
What are you people? On dope?
Hold on. One more.
Oh, hell no.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
I couldn't have said it any better than those sound bites. So, again, let me know down below in the description. If you guys haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Tell your friends, tell your family. Listen, Allie D got her mother to subscribe to me. Thank you, Allie, for getting mom. If you can get dad to subscribe, that would be a huge, huge obstacle, a hurdle to have happen. So thank you to all the new subscribers and everyone who's out there sending in love and respect and support for my dog, little baby Oscar. He's going to be 15 years old this year. I think in July, July he turns 15. So thank you for the support. He came through with flying colors from the anesthesia. He was supposed to have one tooth pulled and he had 7. But my wife tells me that the dachshund breed has over 48 or 40 something teeth in their mouth because they have that long snout and it's all teeth on the upper and lower. So 7 teeth pulled out of 40 some odd teeth. I think he's good. So thank you for the love and the support. Guys and girls, again, let me know down below in the comment section what you think of tonight's video. We ended it with Banfield's embarrassment. Let me know what you think about that. And I'm going to be live Sunday night with Melanie Little. I believe we're going to be doing a follow-up on Trezell and Jacqueline West, the trial. And we're going to also talk about the subpoena in the Brian Kohlberger case. There's so much chatter while I was down and out this week about the subpoena to Bethany. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to get into it with her on Sunday night. I always love to get her commentary. Dave in Osaka, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Louise Poppy was here earlier. Always great to see my friends from Periscope joining in. Dave is in Osaka, Japan, and he gave Ed Wallace a really good restaurant suggestion while he and his family were in Osaka. So thanks for that, Dave. Thank you to all the super chatters, all the people who became channel members. For those of you who support us, remember, Patreon is a great way to support Ed Wallace and I. The money that we take in on Patreon, I use it to support great search groups like EquiSearch Midwest. I donate it to victims' families. When you see donations of myself and us going out there, it comes from my Patreon supporters. And I use also the money that comes in from this channel memberships here on YouTube. So to help us with the cause and the things that we do, make sure you go over and check out our Patreon, look at our merch, shop on my Amazon shopping affiliate link. That's an easy, free way to support. Watching the videos and letting the ads play, thumbing it up, leaving comments, engagement, and all of that good stuff is free ways to support. And hitting the subscribe button, not the membership, but hitting the subscribe button is free. So try and consider doing that. It's always great to have you guys. So as I like to end all these live videos, God bless the world, God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, but especially the victims here that we were talking about tonight. Tylee, JJ, Tammy Daybell, and we can't forget Charles Vallow and all the other people who are victims, you know, the family, the surviving family members, and everybody who's affected by this, the first responders that had to go and dig in the backyard of Chad Daybell's house. And we heard them describe the horrific conditions that they had to endure and the things that they'll never be able to unsee. So we send them strength, prayers, and positive vibes. If you can, please hang around for the end of this, the security detail, Kara, Oscar, Popeye, that stands for cops. So stand by for a message from our security detail. I'll see you guys all on the next one. Sunday night, I don't know what time, probably a little later, because Melanie likes to do, well, we like to do things later on at night. So later on Sunday night, hopefully we'll have a live stream for you guys. Peace and love from Crime Time with DutyRon. Thanks for watching.